So here we are in the music room. There are others, of course, and I'm particularly fond of those. The Camera Museum, the two morning rooms, one spelt with an O, the other spelt with an OU. The front drawing room, which my wife prefers to call morning room, is where we have our morning coffee and receive people in the first instance. The other morning room with an OU is something else, full of objects and Victorian, Georgian, largely pictures, paintings, even photographs. And these relate to my family and ancestors in the main. And that room is a very quiet room where harpsichord music is listened to, amongst others. And it contains the remains of 3 people exceptionally close to me. Not that that would be intrusive to anyone entering it or remaining in it. I welcome the presence of such ethereal items, objects, and feel more comfortable amongst those than I do amongst most of the living. I should now engage in the performance, the premiere performance of Discarnate. Any more thoughts about the dead bird from 46,000 years ago?
Oh, the dead bird. Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, this is sort of loosely connected. When you told me about Arthur not being well, I thought, oh, I'll send him a Christmas card. You know, hope
Indeed.
to get better soon. But I didn't, because something happened which just sort of took my attention. And then when you told me this morning, I thought, well, maybe I will send him one. I don't know. I couldn't when I did them the other day. Maybe I'll sort of say, good luck in 2021. Hope you have loads of larks, you know. But that's about the only other thought, really.
But you need to be swift about it.
Sorry?
But you need to be swift about it.
Yes, well, yeah. But, well, presumably he'll be there, I don't know. But, yeah, no, it's a bit I mean, he can't be serious, surely. I mean...
I think we must assume that Arthur is generally never serious, but always serious in the same moment. He is, after all, Arthur.
That sums it up exactly.
Quite.
Yeah, exactly. He's always serious about being sort of totally impossible.
Thank you. Anyway, I'm very glad you had a Jeanette Scott.
Yes.
And how delightful that must have been, albeit in black and white.
No, colour.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
How extraordinary.
No, this is the thing that...
It hadn't been colourised. I'd like to think it hadn't.
I don't think so, no.
Oh, good.
No, they couldn't have done all the scenery and everything, you know.
Oh, no, it's done by computer. There's nothing to do. But I hate it when they colorise monochrome.
Yeah.
I really do.
The thing is, previously I'd seen the last 10 minutes or so of that film. And I
never a good idea, is it?
It's been black and white, but...
Yes, I remember everything in black and white. Even David Bailey does. But it was in black and white, of course.
No, it was...
Not difficult to remember.
56, I think, so it's sort of, you know, half of them were and half of them weren't then, you know, so
yes.
I really don't know.
Any more feelings about Alban Berg and...
well, the violin concerto...
yes, I'll give you that. I'll let you have that one. Yeah. What about Arnold Schoenberg? Anything there?
Well, no, not a lot really.
Of course, we're in total agreement about Anton Webern, I think we'll say.
Those short pieces, yes.
The short pieces. Yeah. The short pieces.
Yeah.
We all remember the short pieces.
Yeah. Well, of course, I mean, I have a disc by Anton Durati, which has Schoenberg, Wegener and Berg.
Yes, they all did those back then.
Yeah.
That's quite popular, wasn't it? It's got a colourful album cover. Yes, they were quite popular, those. It's sort of pop avant-garde classical. Isn't it, really?
Yeah, I think so. Well, it's a long time ago now.
It's not really the Albert Ayler of new music, classical, is it?
No, it's...
But then, is Albert Ayler The new Albert Eiler.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I did the film, 33-minute film, titled My Name Is Not Albert Eiler.
Yes, well, so many people are looking for that, aren't they?
Yes.
Everything now.
Did you recognise the voice?
Yes.
It's quite impossible not to if you've ever met him.
Mm.
And of course you have.
Mm. Indeed.
And you didn't mistake him for Rudolf Hess at all.
I got a feeling he's a bit taller than Rudolf Hess.
Well, he wasn't a shorty, that's for sure.
No.
But then the Byronic bloodline to me is on the other side of the family, not his. Because Dorothy, referred to by dear Diana as Doro, she was quite short.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
I found it quite poignant at the end of the film, where he speaks of Dorothy and could barely hold it together. The last moments.
Right. Yes. Not bad. Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty hard going.
I had a thought about the train, which I didn't know about, the sort of business card type thing which he plugged in his top pocket. It would seem that it wasn't sort of normal behaviour for a female to get up for a male and say, "Would you like to sit down?" But there'd be a sort of psychic propulsion, or inside. You knew she had to. There's a sort of inevitability about the fact that she offered a seat, and then she also put a card in the pocket, which sort of it seems to belong to a sort of dodgier, more recent.
It's an introduction card, really, more than a business card. I think a lot of people had them. I certainly had a card on which I was introduced, but I was introduced as a photographer in those days.
Well, if you go back to my grandmother, my great aunt's days, they all seem to have these sort of cards that they gave to each other and notes they put in each other's diaries and stuff like that. But no, what I mean is that there was a sort of subconscious motivation which propelled her to do that, and it was sort of inevitable, really.
Indeed it was. I think there was an element of destiny, or kismet, whatever you want to call it. I think there was an element of that for sure. But interesting, I was reading Bailey's autobiography, I think last night, and when he was conscripted and sent to one of the worst places on earth, Singapore, he said you weren't allowed to load your gun without permission, by which time it was too late. And the guns didn't work anyway. They were First World War rifles, the usual, bolt action 303. And he said it was better to come back dead. And he said, you do far better dead than wounded. He said, the wounded didn't fare at all well. And I thought, what he went through, what that chap went through. And I think he's done very well, notwithstanding his, shall we say, candid turn of phrase. But he's certainly a talented photographer. And I'm duty-bound to admire him for that alone. But I do like his humour and his wit. I think we can call it that. I think we can go that far. And obviously, as do others, James Fox, who assisted him in parts of the book, and James Fox pipes up here and there, he too saw it. And there is something, there's something artistic in not being artistic. It's all natural. Humour has to be natural. Not obvious, not prepared, not rehearsed. It has to be real. I remember Yossel, once saying to to the assembled company, Jean, he should have been a comedian, He was such a card and a comic back in school days. And of course, I didn't want to be a comedian. I used laughter to escape being bullied or bashed, as goodness knows what Bailey did. It was far worse, and he was that much older than me. I think it was pretty bad in Bailey's day. But you use humour as a defensive weapon, and you use it skillfully if you're clever. It's either that or a daily bashing or bullying. And I never really had that, because I had them laughing so much. But I don't wish to be, thank you very much, a comic.
No.
Although I might be comical, which is a completely different thing. But Yoss saw that, and I didn't see it, but Yoss saw it. And of course then he went and died earlier this year, which is rather a shame. And I do remember him with great affection. I mean, Bailey going around his old haunts with James Fox, the actor. He said how so much is gone, disappeared, and dead. No good trying to contact that person.
No.
Not unless you've got a shovel and.
I saw a film, about 5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I don't know, about Bailey and his time breaking through.
Yes.
And they were all stuffed shirts who
Indeed.
didn't want to let him in, but
Absolute.
He was so good that they had to.
He burst through with pure a mixture really of arrogance and unbridled talent.
Yeah.
And seeing it, I think it's like painting, artistry, dramatic art. It's seeing, having the vision, as much as, if not more than the talent, having vision, seeing what others don't see, and then performing it or painting it or photographing it. And it has to be fairly spontaneous.